My name is Ben. I'm studying engineering second year at UTS. The ministries that I've served and helped out with was Kingdom Kids, as well as sound and lighting, and this year I'm starting DJC. So last year I attended a 9-week course run by an organisation called Ellel, and Ellel is basically just a ministry that provides healing and spiritual teaching into what God says and stuff like that. The main reason why I decided to do Ellel was basically my parents did what was known as the Modular School, and so they would go away for a weekend and come back once every couple of months, and what would happen is you would see a difference from when they left to when they would come back, and every week you could ask them what the topic was and they would explain it in detail, and you could just see how it changed their lives, and I really wanted to see that in my life. But because I had to work on the weekends, I couldn't attend the weekend course, so the next best thing for me was a 9-week intensive. The topics covered started with basic foundation stuff to get a good foundation in God, because no matter how many years you spend at church, you may not have a proper or real foundation in Jesus. And so yeah, the topics got more interesting and a bit deeper each time and as the weeks progressed. Some of the stuff covered was from soul ties to generational iniquity to godly sex and sexuality, the role of man and things like that. From anything to the demonic and the heavenly realms and how it impacts our lives. Some of the challenges was just getting there to start with, as well as what the enemy tried to do while you were there. And also another challenge, ironic enough, was actually working or not resisting what God was doing in your life, because during the sessions and during the teachings, God would bring up stuff in you, and it would be part of, do I want to deal with this now because God has brought it up, or do I want to try and suppress it? And so it was always quite hard to try and work it out, even though you always know the right answer is to go with what God is doing. This course affected me in many ways, too numerous for me to number or even to name, but I believe now my eyes have quite been open to what's actually happening in the world to a greater extent to what it is. A lot of things that I believed were lies or truths have been arranged into godly order. Such things as like being able to call God Father was a very big thing for me, and that was something that I always believed He's a father to everyone else, but not to me. So yeah. During about the 3rd week of the Ellel course, we had a speaker come in from Sydney, and his name was Paul Ryan, and basically the topics he covered was dealing with your emotions, anger, as well as what is leading a godly life and how do you lead a godly life as a man and what it means to be a godly man as well. And that really impacted on me, because there was no one point where I could say, I am a man, I am becoming a man. What do you measure yourself? What are your milestones as a man? Is it is it a stiff handshake you give to another guy? Or is it trying to drink a yardstick in under a minute, that kind of thing? What are your rites of passage, as it would be? And I couldn't really say that for my life. And he also really challenged you with how you're going to live it in your life, but how you're going to impact others around you as well. I feel that God wants to see a generation of young men that aren't afraid of the strength that God has given them, that is full of courage and faith in Him, and is just listening to what He's saying and will just move, because we as men are not weak. We're not designed to be weak. We're meant to be strong, but strong in God's strength. Like as an army marches forward, they march together as one. We need to stay together, help each other, and together we are strong with God's help. Earlier I said I started leading with DJC. I originally planned to lead and felt God's call with that before I went for Ellel, but I really feel that after attending Ellel, I'm a lot more equipped to just give the right information, be able to lead them in a godly manner in a way that I wasn't able to do before. And one of these ways is especially dealing with the young men of DJCs, the high schoolers. This is a time where they're trying to find who they are, work out what God wants for their lives, and just try sometimes try and walk a godly lifestyle, and even if they don't, you just walk beside them and say, come on, let's go back this way now. The one encouragement I can give to young men is don't be afraid of the strength God has given you. And don't be afraid of your emotions. Your emotions are a God-given thing. They're there to be used. But don't hold on to them. Don't hold on to them for such a long time where it starts to burden you down. But just when things start to become overbearing, turn to God and turn to your godly friends, and they'll support you and help you through stuff.